Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Barry Szeto. He has just put out a wonderful new single titled Sorry, Who Is This? And I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. Barry, I want to sincerely thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Hey Austin, I'm good. How are you? How's it going over
Um,
there in LA?
it's pretty good. I can't complain. The weather is kind of sunny at the moment, probably the opposite of you in
Well,
Toronto. So I
you
hate to
are in
rub it
LA,
in your
so yeah, it is
face.
nice. I know here it's cold and it's snowing and it's ugly right now.
It looks comfortable in your room though, so I mean, as long as you're not
Yeah, I
freezing in
mean,
there.
good lighting. I'm in my pajama pants. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm basically wearing
Yeah,
pajamas under this, so it's all the same.
yeah, exactly. Like this looks good, and you know how it is with Zoom.
Exactly. Yeah, man. We're living in 2022. You only need the top half
Yeah,
these days.
totally.
Well, hey man, I want to hop right in here. You've got this new single and it's called
Yeah,
Sorry, Who Is This? And I want to hear all about it. What is this song about? What
yeah.
does it mean to you?
I mean, like, it's pretty self-explanatory when you listen to it, especially with the intro and everything.
Sure.
This song was actually inspired by the first lockdown. So I don't know about you guys, but like during the first wave when we were all like locked down, back in March of 2020, we were forced to like stay at home. We were forced to kind of reflect on a lot of things, and I just
Yeah.
realized that there's so many people. Like I do have a lot of friends and acquaintances and stuff, but like I just realized that there's so many people I'm not really close with, and there are a lot of people that don't really serve me anymore in any way. So, and I actually ended up letting go of a lot of friends, a lot of toxic friends, a lot of people that are just not good for me, not good for my life. They don't really like do anything good for me as a person. So
Yep.
I ended up, having to let go of a lot of friends, even people that I've known for like 10 plus years since we were kids. And and it's just like, it's one of those things where you just kind of know in your gut, you know what I mean? So in this particular song, I was kind of being a little cheeky, a little bit sassy about it. So it's kind of like the song is called "Sorry, Who Is This?" I mean that I'm implying that when they call me, I'm kind of like, "Oh, I'm sorry, who is this?" Like kind of like I
Dude,
don't know who
I
you are, kind of thing.
totally
Kind of
understand.
being a little. I'm throwing a little bit of shade there. So there's a sense of humor in this song,
Listen, if
and
anything,
so
it's
this is
relatable. It's relatable
that's
because
that's what I'm saying. So like
yeah,
I feel like people who can relate to this only because like I mean, a lot of people who don't really have the courage or ability to really tell someone, hey, I can't be friends with you anymore because it's just not everyone has
totally.
it in them. So like this song is kind of for me. I wanted to become an anthem to these people to just sort of like be able to give them that confidence to stand their ground. You know what I'm saying?
I completely understand, and I
Yeah.
feel the same because, yeah, over the last 2 years, you kinda realize who you've really been talking to, like, who's been the close friend.
Yeah, totally.
If
Yeah.
the last 2 years have taught us anything, it's not really about acquaintances anymore, it's about who am I texting on
Yeah.
a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah.
You know, you see a little bit of
So I
success
have
in
a
your music career, and then that's when
yeah,
people come.
I know. I know. And here's a little test for you to realize who are the real people around you.
Yeah.
If you receive a text and you kind of like think twice about answering or looking at or opening it, they're not your friend. I'll tell you that
It's
right
true,
now.
man. That's all
That's
you
a
really
perfect
need.
test. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just like the rest of your music, this one is instantly catchy. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what your formula is or if you have any outside help putting
Yeah.
these songs together, but do you have a team
Oh,
behind you
for
as far as
sure.
production?
I do, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I work with a couple of people. I work with a couple of songwriters and produce. My main producer is Daniel J. Shepherd, and so I mean, there's no formula to how to write a song or how to
Nope.
produce a song. Like things come out so things are created so differently. You can write the song on the spot. They can have already pre-existing beats, and in this particular song, I was kind of like we normally like doing things from scratch that we normally write together and he'll create a beat and whatnot on the spot. But in this
Sure.
particular case, I was arriving to the studio and he had already been working on something because he was feeling something. And he goes, "Hey, what do you think of this?" I'm like, "Okay, cool. I like that. I like
Mhm.
that." And then instantly the song just popped up. And it's one of those songs where I kind of wrote it on the spot and it came out so organically and so effortlessly. And yeah, that phrase, "I'm sorry, who is this?" That just came to my head, and it's just like, okay, this is exactly how I feel, and it was really easy to write. So I was very fortunate in that sense.
you find that like the best
Yeah.
songs usually come the quickest in terms of what you're writing
Yes,
about?
yes, and I think every artist will tell you the same thing, you know?
Probably. It's like you
Yeah,
don't want to, I mean, you
yeah,
could sit there and spend a year writing the perfect piece of poetry, but at the same
yeah.
time, like
I know.
nowadays the music scene feels like it's more about how music makes you feel rather than what it's about. But
Yeah.
if you have a strong message and the song makes you feel good, that's a winning song.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of what you got here.
Oh, 100%. And well, speaking of that, this is probably the first song I've ever written that has sort of a message, an anthem in a way. You know what I mean? So it's
Sure,
not
sure.
just so much of me being shady or sassy. It's also a way to give people the confidence to stand their ground and be like, no, I don't want to be friends with you. No, I don't want to know you. I don't want to f with you anymore. You know what I mean?
Totally,
So
totally.
that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a
So
fair amount
that's
of
my goal with this song.
yeah, there's a
Mhm.
fair amount of genre influence going on too. Obviously, like if it's an umbrella,
Oh,
it's a pop track. But there's a bunch of
yeah,
other different influence going on. Like how would you label this
yeah.
song if you had to sort of pitch it to
There
someone who hadn't listened?
Oh my god, I don't even know if there is a label. I mean, like we want to make sure it's well, I grew up listening to R&B and that's like my main thing and most of my songs are urban
Sure, sure.
inspired. So but in this particular song it had that sort of like cheeky sort of pop upbeat feel to it, which I don't normally do, but we kind of worked with it and then we kind of made it our own kind of thing. It kind of it still has that my signature sound to it and I like the chords of the song. I like the feel of the song and so I would definitely categorize as like pop R&B still.
Okay. And it totally is, but there's like
Yeah,
even a little bit of like the trap beat going on. Like if you listen with a
yeah,
nice
you got that too.
headphones,
Yes,
like it really like the
yeah,
bass
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
bumping and it feels good.
yeah,
Now,
exactly,
obviously,
exactly.
I want to focus on this song because it's the one you're promoting, but I also have to look towards
Yeah,
the future a little bit. Do you plan on
yeah.
experimenting? Like, are you the type of artist that's always writing down ideas for the future and planning
Hmm.
out your next track?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the thing is, like, nothing is premeditated. Like, everything is for me. I'm a firm believer of things that happen on the spot. In terms of formula and stuff like that, I like to have things organically done now, rather because I used to, you know, really like think too much of something, and I'll premeditate like what kind of sound I want to do, who I want to sound like, and comparing myself to other people. That's like the worst thing you can do as an artist because then you're just like falling into a hole with that. So
I agree.
I like to do things, as I go kind of in a way, but obviously I still have like a time for when I want to get certain things done, but like in terms of the creativity aspect, I definitely want to keep it as organic as possible.
Yep, and it comes through as
Yeah,
genuine and honest, and honestly, you're just writing for you. It sounds like you're making the
exactly.
music that you wanna hear as opposed to catering it to
Absolutely.
the masses, and I don't know, I think that's
Well, I
what
mean, like
artists need
that,
to
I
do.
do want to, of course. I mean, you still want to like, please the masses. You still want to
Of
something
course.
that people can still jam to and whatever. You know what I mean? It's still the music industry. It's not, you got to have a bit of a balance in a way. So I kind of that's my
Yeah,
goal.
I hear that,
You
but
know?
your tastes also align with what people wanna hear. So it's kind of the best of both
Yeah,
worlds in that
absolutely. Yeah, that is
situation.
my personal taste too, and I love pop music. I love commercial music, so it all works together. It all works out perfectly.
It's all good. Okay, so then hit me with some
Yeah.
influences. Who inspires you? Like, who even
Oh
made you wanna make
man.
music?
Okay, you know what, Austin? I hate this question because there's so many people that inspires me, and I actually have to write this down because I knew you're gonna ask me
We'll
this, and I'm
limit
like,
it to 3, how
I,
about that?
I, I know. Okay, so like I've been listening to lately. I've been listening to a lot of Bryce and Tiller. I love LMA, Bazzi. But growing up, I listened to a lot of like legends. I love Usher, Brian McKnight, Justin Timberlake, and Christina Aguilera. Like her voice. I'm sorry.
It's
Like
the
I
best.
when that girl sings, I'm like, that was just she's got the craziest voice ever. So yeah, those are probably my top if I had to choose, like artistry and vocally.
Solid choices, I have to say.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you. I had
so
to really think about like who really inspires me. Yeah,
honestly, I kind of find that it's not necessarily a played out question, but it's like a baiting
yeah.
question. But in this situation, like I
Okay.
like the music you make, so I want to know, who inspires you. And I feel the same. I grew up on the same artists and I still listen to them today. So
Right.
it all makes
Okay.
sense. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
now that you've been through this process, this isn't your first single and it's not going to be your last single. I want to know,
Yeah.
what is your favorite part about being an artist and a creative as a whole? Like, what keeps you coming back for more and more?
Mm. Honestly, it all boils, and I think every artist will tell you the same thing. It boils down to how it makes you feel. Like,
Sure.
you know that saying where like an artist will like spend hours and days and weeks creating and planning for just 5 minutes of like that feeling of euphoria. You know what I mean? So like
I agree.
it's so worth it for me, and like for a lot of people as well. So like yeah, so that's definitely the most like I mean it's just everything about being an artist, even if when it comes even like posting stuff on social media, performing live on stage, interacting
Totally.
with your fans, like that's that all that is just like it's everything. It's just how it makes you feel. It's kind of I can't really describe it, but it's definitely a good high.
No, but it's chasing the adrenaline. You
Yeah.
know how good it feels, and you're
Yeah.
just trying to
Yes.
get the original feeling back.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really just about being famous or anything or being or
No,
having a lot of
man.
money. It's really about like just doing because you love it. And
Yep.
that and I tell a lot of people that, a lot of younger people who's getting into this business, like it's really you have to have the love for the actual art and not so much for the clout and for fame and fortune. I mean, it's good to have all that, but that, if
No,
that's what you're chasing,
absolutely,
then
man.
you're not in the right industry. Yeah,
I
that's
fully
all.
it's fulfillment. Listen, I don't think
No,
people
for sure.
realize the amount of work that goes into making a song. It's not just getting in the
Yeah.
studio and clicking record. It's all the after stuff that people don't realize about the marketing and what budgets and the
Hmm.
business end of it. And it's just like if you get
Oh
into
yeah,
music as a
it's
whole,
huge.
then you got to realize that pretty quick.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
and not everything is fun, you know, like marketing
No.
is not that fun sometimes.
No,
It's a
I
lot of
yeah,
tedious
man.
work and like, oh my gosh, and
I
like
feel you.
designing posters and web designs and making finding what font works well with your picture, you know, like
Yeah,
all that stuff is
it's
really
outrageous. You're like, why can't I
my
just
own
make
swore.
music? Now you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, no, oh, okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't sure.
It's all good.
But yeah, yeah, it's also yeah. So that's you know, that's what it is. It is
I
what it is. You do it
understand.
because you love it. That's it. And it's
Exactly.
honestly, and if I didn't love it, I don't have to do this. You know, like
Oh, man.
I'm not confined to a label or anything like that. I can
Absolutely
leave
not.
and do whatever the hell I want.
Hey,
But
man.
I like what I do.
There you go. So keep it up.
Yeah.
Now, before we click the record button, we were talking a bit about touring, and we were talking a bit on like restrictions and our mutual, where we live and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So obviously things are still up in the air on your side, but I hope that by the end of this year you can get something going.
Yeah.
You have anything in the works,
Well,
or is it in the talks?
yeah. Oh, in terms of music.
Yeah, in terms of getting out there and playing in front of people.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I plan on yeah, I'm planning on doing a couple of shows already, even if it
Oh,
means, like, doing
nice.
some open mics and whatnot. So I haven't performed in, like, 3 years, and it's killing me. So,
Love
and I'm
it.
still a little iffy on going out there because I do know a lot of people are still getting a little sick here and there, and I'm just
Sure,
that
sure.
kinda freaks me out. But, yeah, so there are a couple of things I have in mind so far, and I've also started taking vocal training again just to keep my voice
Nice,
intact
man.
and
See,
and
that's
doing that
dedication right
and
there.
yeah
That's all the
yeah
dedication.
yeah because I you know a vocal your voice is like your instrument, you can't really mess it up, you know. And
Absolutely.
you know but and yeah, so that and I know that we're lifting our mask restrictions, I think on the 21st here in Toronto, so
Okay.
that's pretty exciting.
That is pretty
Yeah,
exciting. Okay, so then a
yeah,
hypothetical question for you. Let's say you've got your show
yeah.
planned. What is the one song you're playing out of your discography to really impress the crowd and make them a Barry fan?
Oh my god, from my catalog.
Yeah, man. What's it gonna be?
Oh my gosh. To be honest, so far, it would be this song. Like, all my
Awesome.
songs are great, but this is something that I think the crowd can interact with,
Yeah.
that everyone can relate to, and, yeah, so I really like I said before, my goal is to make this song an anthem for people who can't really speak up for themselves, so
Yeah,
this is
man.
like so I think this will be the one for now. I still have a couple of things I haven't released yet, but I'm still working on, but this is the
Sure.
one I would say.
No, I
Yeah.
think that's a great answer because at the beginning you mentioned this being an anthemic song, and what better song to perform in front of people than a song like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't
I
know.
love that.
So
I love that, man.
hopefully it turns out good.
Sweet. And
Yeah,
kind of going
definitely.
off of that, but I still consider us at the beginning of the year, even though we're at the middle of March. What are some
Oh
things that
yeah.
you'd really like to accomplish by year's end?
Well, I have a couple more tracks that I'm releasing, so I want to definitely been releasing those and just continue
Awesome.
to make more music. I don't really have anything set in stone right now because I am independent, so
Yeah,
like,
man.
I'm kind of going as I am going with the flow kind of thing.
You've got a
And
life,
yeah, so I just want to keep creating. Yeah, I definitely grow my fan base. Obviously, I want to be more
obviously.
active and be more interactive with my fans, and maybe just do more lives and interaction and stuff like that instead of just posting some nice Photoshop picture of myself. You know? Yeah, yeah,
I understand.
yeah,
Okay, so then on the
yeah.
flip side of that, how do you plan on
Yeah.
working on yourself, like as a person, even putting music aside? Like,
Man,
how are
there's
you
so
gonna
many.
better
Well,
vary?
there's so many different things. I mean, like I've always been pretty, healthy body wise, eating wise, and stuff like that. But
Sure,
I just want to
sure.
like really focus on maintaining my vocal health and just there's that's all. I mean, like I just want to keep creating. I want to be more open minded to different things as well, and maybe take a couple of courses on something. Like as a
No, man,
person, like
there's
I definitely
so
am
much
open
info out
to so
there.
many different things. So many things, but and I'm still figuring things out as I go along. I'm still figuring out what I like, what I don't like, and stuff like that. And yeah, that's all.
Cool, man. Now, are
Yeah,
you like in touch with your local music scene at all, like other performers and things like that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We have a lot. I mean, like being in the studio, we see different artists come and go, and yeah, we definitely meet a lot of people for sure.
Nice.
But it's
And
when
so,
I go out to
yeah,
perform is when I'll meet people. That's what I can't
that's
wait to
true.
do.
I don't know. Does
Yeah,
it feel like a
yeah,
community or does it feel like a competition sometimes?
yeah. Um, it depends how you look at it. It depends what circle you're surrounded against. I mean, like, surrounded with. Sorry. There's just. I mean, like, I think that goes with everywhere. People always say, "Oh, Toronto is so this and that," but like, I think it's everywhere. Like, there's always going to be some sense of rivalry. There was always going to be some sense of shadiness amongst other people and sense of competition, which I really don't like. But
That's
yeah,
true.
that'll happen. That'll happen sometimes,
I don't
But
know. Yeah, in my
but
opinion, I think,
yeah,
yeah, obviously there's so many people trying to do the same thing, but just because the last 2 years have been so difficult for any artist in the world with
it really
touring and
is,
getting, it's like
and
it needs to be a community and to like build each other up, just in my opinion.
yeah, I think so. So I think that during the pandemic, it did sort of help bring a lot of people together. I think, and then I've
Yeah.
done a lot of group classes as well. I met a lot of people, and yeah, so I think the pandemic sort of in a sense made us human in a way because we're
It did.
forced to communicate.
Absolutely. It's the one thing you can talk about forever. It's always the
Yeah,
conversation starter with a new person. But that's really
yeah,
cool, man.
definitely.
Actually,
Yeah,
I've got a couple more questions for you at this point.
yeah,
I want to
totally.
know, what are you listening to these days? Obviously, you mentioned some artists that
Oh,
inspire you, but is there
yeah.
anything that's like, guys, you got to
Um,
check this out?
Yeah, no, pretty much all the stuff that I mentioned, but I'm always on, on Spotify where they have like the new songs of these new artists and stuff like that. I'm always listening. I'm
Yeah.
always on the lookout for something new. Yeah, I know I'm late in the game, but Keshi, I know I think he's from
Okay.
LA. Yeah, he's
Maybe.
really dope. I'm like, I'm so late in the game, but I'm listening to his songs. I'm
You
like,
know
damn,
what? It's
this kid is.
impossible to keep up. There's too much music out there.
I
So
know.
it's
But
all
I should
good.
know him. He's bigger than I thought, but his stuff is pretty dope. And I've been listening to a lot of him lately as well. So
Very cool.
yeah.
All right, Barry,
Mm.
I've got one more question to ask you. Basically, the question
Oh,
for
the
you
last
is
one.
it's the grand hurrah.
Yeah.
The question is for the person who is going to discover you from this, and for the person that's going to
Mhm.
listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Wow, to my new listener, eh?
Yeah.
Well, expect honesty, expect transparency, expect just um good quality sound, genuine sound, and catchy tunes, and
Yes.
R&B vibes all the way. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it's hard to say, like because every listener is different, and music is so subjective. Like it's really like how they take it, how you take it if you listen to it. So it's hard for me to describe myself to sell. It's really hard when artists to sell themselves. That's why they need management and labels because like it's hard to say because you're the creator. So like it's more like
Right.
you listen to it, you tell me.
Yep. Oh, I think that's step
That's
one
just
is
what I think. I don't know.
listen and make your own judgments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Totally.
that's
Barry,
all. Yeah,
I wanna thank you so much for your time, man. This has been
yeah.
awesome, and I
I
wanna
know,
I wanna plug your music
and
again
thank
for you.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you've written stuff for me before, and you've been
yeah.
really
This
like
isn't the
awesome
first
and really
time.
really yeah. So this is definitely a great way to finally meet you and talk to you in person. Well,
Thanks,
so
man.
face to face. I mean, not in
Yeah,
person, but
close
yeah,
enough.
yeah,
Well, for
yeah, yeah.
everyone else out there, the song is called "Sorry, Who Is This?" And obviously, I say listen to it, but I say check out the rest. There's plenty of hits, and there's more on the way, as it sounds like. And Barry, I can't wait to keep up with it all. And maybe you'll get out to LA one of these days, and we'll see a
Yes,
show.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I would love to,
Cool,
for
man.
sure.
Well, in that case, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I want to thank you one more time, and I look forward to speaking again soon.
All right,
Cool, man.
all right. Thanks,
Take
Austin.
care.
Thanks,
Talk to you
everyone. Take
later. Bye
care.
bye.
All right.